Hello everybody, it's Verda here, and today we're going to be doing something which I wasn't planning on doing, but I was testing some Minecraft stuff out, testing some mod packs for comparisons with performance and stuff, and I didn't realize just how broken the Minecraft performance is these days. Like, the latest version of Minecraft, in terms of world generation and stuff, just absolutely abysmal FPS compared to using custom mods. And so I thought I'd make a video here today talking about the Minecraft performance. So I've been playing Minecraft since 2010, somewhere around there. I've been playing Minecraft a very, very long time. Admittedly, these days, not very much, but performance was always an issue. You kind of like always needed Optifine, but back in the day, I needed Optifine and my friends needed Optifine because we were playing Minecraft on very bad laptops, and so it was justifiable. But these days I'm playing on a very good PC, and today I am playing on my old gaming PC, but it should still be more than capable of playing Minecraft very well. And this did play Minecraft in the couple hundred FPS range a few years ago, so it should be completely fine for vanilla Minecraft. But anyways, to get that out of the way, we're using an Intel Core i7 4790K with a GTX 1060 3GB edition graphics card with 16GB of DDR3 1600MHz RAM. I've got the latest Nvidia drivers, but in all honesty, it's mostly about the RAM and CPU here today. The GPU is not that important. You could play this game probably on a GT 710 and we'd still see a lot of FPS. It's just surprising because this CPU should be completely fine for Minecraft, but you're gonna see it's having issues. So let's jump on in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so here we are in the main menu. These are the settings that I'm going to be playing at, to start with at least. So we're on 1440p, which is the resolution that I usually play at. We're playing with the biome blend at 5x5. That's normal. I've always played with that, never bothered adjusting this. Everything is on pretty much maximum, fancy graphics. What I will do is put particles to decrease, because in vanilla Minecraft you really can't see the difference. And everything else is pretty much at maximum. We're playing on 16 chunks render distance to start with. Simulation distance, we're going to leave it at 5. We could increase that, I guess, later on maybe, but I'll leave it at 5. Biggest thing here is the chunks. Basically, this is going to be the biggest performance impact in this menu for sure, and it's the only thing that we're really testing here today. So with that, let's go into single player. We'll make it a new world. I've also given Minecraft 8GB of the RAM dedicated to the game, and I'm playing it on a SSD, so should be fairly quick. So we've loaded in. FPS is all over the place. Look how long it is taking to render chunks, and my CPU usage absolutely maxed out. By the way, we're only at 16 chunks, and if you're like, oh, that CPU is just really old and like really bad, Minecraft is older than this CPU, and yes, the world generation has gone through some changes, but fundamentally it should not be that much more demanding than what it was a few years ago, right? Is it because they've made the world deeper than it used to be? Is that why performance is so terrible now? I just thought of that. It no longer goes down to 0, does it? It goes below that now. Is that why performance is so dreadful? And yes, my FPS is quite high, but look at how long it is taking to generate a few chunks. And I've tested this with performance mod packs, and my world, I can generate 32 chunks quicker than this. With performance mod packs. Look at my CPU. It is pretty much maxing out, and we're not getting any world. Where is the world? Yes, this CPU is 10 years old these days, but it was very powerful when it came out, and it was very powerful for many years after that, right? And it's still not exact. It's like, it's not a great CPU anymore, but it can still play a lot of games at like 100 FPS plus. So it's still more than capable for a lot of games, especially like for Minecraft. It should be completely fine. This used to play Minecraft very, very well. This CPU used to generate the world much quicker than this. The problem is, you might be like, oh, this is totally fine. You know, your FPS, you're at 200 FPS right now, which you could be like, that's completely normal. That's completely fine. But it's not a smooth experience. It's really stuttering all over the place. RAM usage, really, really low. RAM usage is still fine. 8 gigs is like way overkill for vanilla Minecraft with the RAM. But let me grab an Elytra. Even just opening my menu there, I got a stutter, which I shouldn't be getting. Right. This is how fast most of us are going to, travel. Like, yes, you can travel faster than this, but the majority of players, the fastest they're ever going to get is with an Elytra. This is the quickest most people will ever travel in Minecraft. You're not going to be going in the nether and building those ice boats and stuff. Most people won't get that far or won't be bothered to do that. But look how bad this is. Like, you might not think this is that terrible, but it's only 16 chunks, which, yes, is quite good render distance. It's pretty much all you would play at back in the day. But it should be better than this. It used to be better than this. Look how slow the world generation is in vanilla Minecraft. It feels like Mojang, or not Mojang, but it feels like Microsoft. It's kind of like, they know, obviously they know mods like Sodium and Optifine exist, and they do a very good job of fixing the game, right? So they're kind of, I feel like they're being very, very lazy with the performance. They just don't give a shit. To be very blunt about it, they just don't care. They're like, well, people, if they can't play the game, they can install Optifine, they can install Sodium, right? We don't need to do it anymore. We don't need to fix the game. We don't need to care about performance. It feels incredibly lazy of Microsoft to keep releasing updates and not address this absolutely abysmal performance. Because even on my Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, which is a very modern, I'm sure most of you know, very, very good gaming CPU, it does do very well in Minecraft, but even that CPU just like kind of struggles a little bit. So let's try a more modern render distance. A lot of us are playing, you know, higher than 16 these days. 32 is definitely really overkill. Not expecting much. If you're wondering like, oh, that's generating pretty quick. No, I was already here, so it's like, that was already pre-generated. So let's start flying. Let's see how it handles 32 chunks. So far, not terrible. But we're at the world border, and as you can see, we're starting to get some really weird world generation errors. 32 chunks is very, very demanding, of course. Now, my FPS is really high, so don't pay attention to that, because it doesn't matter if we don't have any world. Quite an abysmal experience here with an Elytra. You know, if you get an Elytra, you just can't play, essentially. You just can't play. You can't fly with it. It's really, really annoying. As you can see, the world is not really generating that well. Man, I should have like that kind of render distance over there. Like, you see how far that is? That should be what we have here. It's taking its sweet time. I'm gonna let it generate. We'll see what our FPS is at 32 chunks, which is kind of stupid FPS or stupid chunks, but still, if I ever get to generate 32 chunks, that is. All right, so we're not even close to 32 chunks yet. I'm not sure exactly how much it's generated, but we're not at 32 chunks. And as you can see, our FPS is pretty abysmal. And if you're like, oh, this is completely normal for Minecraft. If I was playing with an optimized mod pack, I can play 32 chunks at like 200, 300 FPS. I'm not even exaggerating. I literally tested it a couple of days ago. I've been meaning to make this video for a little bit, but I can literally play with those mod packs or those performance packs at literally 200, 300 frames. And we're not even at 32 chunks yet. Oh man, it's not even done. I think it's about generated. It's pretty close to 32 chunks, but as you can see, we're at about 1/10 of that performance. Yeah, we're at like 1/10 of the performance that those mod packs or those performance packs can give. And maybe we'll even jump in so I can show you that I'm not just like lying, like it actually is a thing. So the fact that like vanilla Minecraft is just running at 1/10 of the FPS is just insane. Now, what about 16 chunks? Because, you know, 16 chunks was how much vanilla Minecraft had when this CPU was released. You know, it's a bit more fair for the CPU to play at the render distance that was maximum in vanilla when this CPU was released. And for the longest time, 16 chunks was far render distance, which was the furthest that you could actually render in the game. At far render distance, if we're just standing here looking around, we're getting like 200, 300 FPS, which is what I remember it having, roughly, with this CPU. But as soon as we start moving, we're down to the mid 100s, which is still fine for Minecraft, but performance-wise, like, the bigger issue is world generation. Like, if we stayed at that constant 100, 150 FPS, that would be fine. But this is the problem. Where is my world? As soon as I start moving, we have no world. Where is it? Why is the world generation so broken in the game right now? This is the biggest issue, is the world gen. Where is my world? It just cannot keep up with the Elytra. This has been a problem in the game for a long time, by the way. Yeah, I remember having issues flying with the Elytra many years ago, even with Optifine, right? Many years ago. So it's like the world generation sucks. so much. Like, it just does not, it's not optimized at all. There needs to be a way for them to actually update the world gen, so it's just not so abysmal. I don't know exactly what they could do, but man, they need to do something about it. It's really lazy that they've not done it. I would have to imagine they would probably have to recode the game from the ground up, like remake the game. I think world gen is probably so broken just because of the coding is so spaghetti, apparently. I don't know too much about coding, but I do know this world generation sucks. Not being able to see where you're flying is the biggest annoyance, right? Especially if you're trying to find a biome or something, you don't know which direction you want to fly in. You know, you have a PC that's capable of playing at 16 chunks or 32 chunks or even more, but yet you can't utilize it when it's most important, which is when you're traveling, because your world generation just does not keep up. It's crazy. Performance is dreadful. Let's jump on one of those performance mod packs and I'll show you exactly like the difference, basically. I want to show you the difference just so you know I'm not talking out of my rear end. Alright, so to do this, we're going to be using Simply Optimized, and we're using 8 gigs of RAM with it as well. It is version 1.20.4, so I think it's 1 or 2 versions behind. I'm not 100% sure, but still performance should be similar. So let's jump in. Alright, so these are the settings that we're using here. Pretty much identical to what they were in vanilla, but well, let's go and have a look here at the actual menus themselves. So those are the menus. You can feel free to pause on any of these. I've left them all at default, how they are. So, yep, they're all on default. You can actually get more performance from this mod pack by lowering some of the stuff as well. But we're just going to leave it as is. All right, and let's start traveling at 16 chunks and see what it's like here. Performance mod pack. See if we can actually catch up to the world border. I'm hoping not, otherwise we're really screwed here, aren't we? World generation's still pretty bad. It's a little bit further ahead, not much. Still not too great. There's a limit to what they can do with modding, of course. There's only so much you can do with the game. But it does look like world generation, even though it's still not amazing, it's certainly not 16 chunks ahead of us, because that would be the ideal, right? To have the game constantly be ahead of you. The world generation is better here. There's no doubt about it. I'm not catching right up to the world border. There's a fresh world. Let's have a look at our RAM usage here, because it's usually the highest when you're generating chunks. Yep, still really low RAM usage. But the world generation is certainly cleaner, it seems, at 16 chunks. Like, it's quicker, essentially. It's further out ahead of us, not by much, but it's more optimized regardless. And I want to see at 16 chunks, oh my god, what kind of FPS we're going to see here. Now, FPS does fluctuate from biome to biome. See how fast the world just like generated around us? Way quicker. And we're actually at a higher average FPS of around 400 and something at 16 chunks. So let's go ahead and increase that to 32, which is the highest in this one as well. And we'll see how long this takes to actually generate. It seems to be generating much quicker. The world is definitely generating much faster as we're standing here. And look at my performance, by the way. Look at my FPS. We're at 200. We're pretty much at 32 chunks. Now, do you remember my FPS when we were at 32 chunks in vanilla? About 20 to 40 on the high end, but realistically about 20, 30 most of the time. And look here, we're at 200 FPS. Now, it's dropping down a little bit now as I'm moving around, but even still, depending on where I'm looking, that seems to be more intensive for some reason. My FPS drops there to about 170. But we're at 32 chunks, and we're at 150 to 200 FPS, depending on where we're looking. We've definitely got more chunks right now than we did in vanilla, even though they're both on 32, because vanilla was taking so long to generate. You can physically see that there's definitely more chunks here than what we had when we looked at the 20-30 FPS range in vanilla. FPS has dropped down. It really depends where we're looking. Like over here, 180, 200. If we look there, 160s. It fluctuates a lot depending on where you're looking, 200. So yeah, it's about 150 to 200 FPS roughly, and it's definitely got more chunks than what we tested in vanilla at 32 chunks, because that didn't even finish rendering all of the chunks. I thought it did, but looking at this image here, there's definitely more chunks here than there was there in the vanilla test. It's about 90% more FPS. Like, literally at least a 90% FPS increase over vanilla. What is going on with vanilla Minecraft? Like, seriously, what have they done to the game? Like, if a mod can do this, and also, I don't know what this mod is doing exactly. to achieve these FPS, but whatever they're doing, they're working some sacred wizard magic, because literally this mod here, or this mod pack and others like it, are making the game so that people who have really crappy laptops or old laptops or just old, you know, PCs or whatever, they're literally making it so that those players can play the game and they earn no money from it, or they earn almost no money from it, while Microsoft has literally endless resources and won't fix the game and won't pay these mod developers any money for fixing their game. I actually think it's quite, I don't really know how to describe it. I think it's like, it's kind of scummy, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of scummy how game developers are treating mod makers these days, especially mod makers that fix things that are blatant issues in the game. And in this case, in Minecraft, many mod developers who are basically fixing Minecraft's performance, and they get zero from Microsoft. They get nothing. And yet they make it so that there's probably millions upon millions of people who would not be able to play the game, able to play their game, earning Microsoft money. It's insane. It's just really, it's very annoying, because this performance is clearly achievable in the vanilla Minecraft. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. If a mod pack that's being made by a couple of modders can achieve this kind of FPS, could you imagine how well optimized Minecraft could be if Microsoft actually invested the money into fixing its optimizations? And the world generation, even at 32 chunks, by the way, I've not been here, I'm flying in another direction that I didn't travel from, and we're at 32 chunks, and the game is keeping up. It's actually keeping up. It's quite a way ahead of me. It's pretty much same distance as 16 chunks was away from me. We're at 32 chunks right now. Vanilla Minecraft, there's absolutely no way you do this. You would be at the world border, constantly waiting for the world border to catch up and stuff. It's insane. And I know, like, I keep repeating myself and stuff. Like, how has Microsoft gotten away? Actually, it's not even a how. We know how Microsoft's gotten away with it, because there's always Sodium, there's always Optifine, and now there's actual, like, dedicated mod packs just for performance. And a lot of mod packs that are made with mods as well come pre-installed with a lot of these optimized mods in them. So you never noticed how terrible the performance is, because a massive amount of the player base is no longer playing with vanilla Minecraft. For your average person, I guess, vanilla Minecraft is probably just completely unplayable. Straight up, just completely unplayable. I feel bad for how many kids are probably out there who do not know about Optifine or Sodium, or just people in general who play Minecraft who are new to it or something, and they have no idea. And their first impression is, I'm lagging. Like, I can't play this game. Like, how can I not play it? Like, my game is lagging all over. I'm stuttering. My world is not generating once I've got, like, an elytra, if they ever get to that stage. But yeah, the new player experience to, like, vanilla Minecraft is just really poor optimizations and FPS problems, probably, which is a shame, considering I'm at 32 chunks, by the way. I've been flying at 32 chunks this whole time. No issues. 10-year-old CPU, no problems. I'm perfectly fine with this render distance, considering what we were getting before. I would expect more render distance for sure, but the fact that we're actually constantly ahead of the render distance here, we're constantly ahead of the world generation rather. It's only generating like 4 chunks ahead of me, which is not the best, maybe 6 chunks sometimes. But the fact that we would not be able to do this in vanilla. We would be at the world border constantly, we'd be waiting for the world border, the world would be lagging all over, the generation would bugged as hell. I'm happy with this FPS with this mod pack, right? But vanilla Minecraft should be better anyways. It should be further out by default for sure with the vanilla game, but it's not. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I think I just wanted to really like talk about and highlight just how broken vanilla Minecraft really is. And I know I'm gonna get some people saying, well, your CPU is 10 years old. Minecraft is older. And world generation was not as broken before, at least from my memory. Like, I might be just remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure performance was way better back in the day for world generation. The world used to generate similar to this, if not better, but in vanilla Minecraft. Not at 32 chunks, but even still, this is the most intensive biome in the game, actually. Or one of the most, the bamboo jungle. It's still keeping up. It's still fine. Yeah, please, Microsoft, fix your game. I know they're never going to see this video, and even if they did, they wouldn't care. But hopefully, with all of our voices combined, if people start making more complaints about performance in Minecraft, hopefully something will get done about it. Probably not, because the modders exist to fix it, thankfully. But yeah, next time you install Sodium or next time you install Optifine or something, maybe think about tipping the modder. If you can, of course. It's never required, but think about tipping them a little bit, because think of how many years you've been playing Minecraft with their mods, with their performance optimizations, and think about how you would not be able to play the game probably without them. So yeah, I've been Verda. Thanks for checking out the video. Voice your opinions in the comments below. And until next time, guys, I'm going to keep flying at 32 chunks completely fine. Thanks to this Simply Optimized mod pack. Take it easy, guys. Look after yourselves, and goodbye for now.